Okay, welcome to JC Connect. Uh, the previous class we were discussing about the some of the properties. So the properties that includes the strength, uh, particle shape, specific gravity, bulk density, Void's porosity. So porosity is nothing but Void's fraction. Okay. So then moisture content. Then strength. Um, so 10% finest test it has to be conducted. So then we have impact test, abrasion test. Um, some of the test has to be conducted to know the strength characteristics. So they're all interlinked. So then um, a shape and texture. Um, we were discussing about that. Shape influences the properties of the fresh concrete more than the hardened concrete. So round and irregular aggregates are highly workable, but it yields low strength. So flaky aggregates requires more cement paste. So you always remember this all of the things. Okay, regular, then flaky aggregates. How exactly it is going to affect. Okay, and because it will create the maximum voids. Okay, so angular shape is the best. By conducting the successive experiment, they arrived is that the angular shape is the best. Okay, even it is going to governs the the water requirements also. Okay, of course we know that water to binder ratio it is very important. Normally we'll, as for the IS code, will maintain 0.45. Okay, so definitely if anything is varying in this shape or types, definitely it is going to alter. This is going to alter, that you have to always keep it in mind. So then specific gravity, it is lies between 2.6 to 3.5 for natural aggregates. Okay, for sand usually it is roughly around 2.5 to 2.7. Roughly you'll get the sand specific gravity. So above that, if you go on increasing, normally the size of the aggregate will increase. Okay, so normally it is variation between the 2.6 to 3.5 for the natural aggregates. So it influences the strength and absorption of the concrete. Okay, because specific gravity, um, it is normally defined as the density. It's always density of, you take uh, density of, always it has to be conducted with the help of the, if you take density of water, density of any fluid, density of any fluid is density of um, the any fluid to the density of standard fluid. So standard fluid normally will take it as the um, the water only, density of water only. Okay. Similarly, we'll calculate it for the aggregates also. So then low specific gravity, high porosity, therefore pure durability and low strength. Okay. So if it is a low specific gravity, say very important. If it is low specific gravity and it is always high porous in nature. Okay. Therefore it is low durability and low strength. Why? Because It will be under the category of pervious concrete. Okay, that you have to keep it in mind that. Hmm, so density greatly depends on the specific gravity because as it relation says that density and the specific gravity are interlinked. So then bulk density and voids depending on the particle size, grading and moisture contents. So it all depends on the particle size, grading and the moisture content. So higher the bulk density of the coarse aggregate is an indication of fewer voids to be filled by the sand and the cement. So then if the voids are more in the concrete, the strength will be very low. Like I already told that if more voids are there, so like that concrete, so whatever this, if it is more, voids are more, so then you can call it as it is going to yield the low strength. And porosity, the entrapped air bubbles in the rocks during their formation leads to minute holes called as the pores or the cavities. So the porosity of the rocks if is should be less than 20%. Remember this. Okay. If it is mm, if it is more wide or if it is more porous, so then what will happen is that your strength is go on decreasing. The concrete becomes permeable, affects the bond. Okay. Then the porous aggregate absorbs more moisture, resulting low workability. These two things you have to remember. Porous aggregate always it will be a loss of workability. Okay. Then moisture content. A high moisture content increases the water to cement ratio to an appreciable extent. So what I said is that W by B, we said that it is 0.45. If you increase it in some percentage, then what will happen is that your W by B it is going to increase. Slowly, if it is normally more than greater than zero point 0.5, then normally it's not workable. Not workable. That you have to remember. The surface moisture expressed as a percentage of the weight of the saturated surface, the dry aggregate is known as the moisture content. So deleterious materials and organic impurities thus play a very important role. Nowadays, um, see other things are fine. It can be like many methods have been developed, very strict protocol has been followed to um, mm, understand about the water to binder ratio or the impact of the moisture content. But most of the time, what we'll do is that the organic impurities definitely it will impact a lot more because it is directly linked with the binding property. If some variation is happened in terms of the quantity of the aggregates or quantity of sand, if something is happened, but if something is happened with respect to the binding property, or if any failure in the cement property, so overall um, strength of the concrete is going to affect more. Okay, if the cement quality is good, then if up to some extent, if the aggregates quality is fine and the sand quality is if up to some extent if it is fine, then if the cement quantity or the quality if it is not good, definitely it is going to affect the overall performance of the concrete. Okay. Now what is this? The other impurities. For example, um, in the cement, if the organic matter is there, organic matter is there. Suppose, um, like some of the coal, any carbon, organic matter is normally the organic and inorganic. Well, organic versus inorganic. The organic, it will always stands for carbon containing. Carbon will be there in that structure. The inorganic, it is free from carbon, free from free from carbon. Okay, carbon means, for example, if dead wood, if dead tree, um, if it is uh, kept for longer time in the water, definitely the degradation of the decomposition will start. If the decomposed matter, if it is going to mix with any of your um, this mix, whether it is going to mix along with the sand, if it is going to along with mix with the aggregate, suppose if it is going to mix with the cement, so definitely this bonding is going to be reduced. Okay, once the bonding is going to reduce, then automatically the overall performance is going to be reduced. See what kind of things are going to happen inside the mixture. Normally, we know that uh, um, cement is cement. It consists of SiO2, alumina, and some traces of we have CaO. That is CaO. These are major components. Then we have some of the minor traces of MgO. Some it will be there. It's nothing but Pl2O3. Okay. Always it will be some silicates will be there. So when your organic matter is going to mix with this all, okay, there will not be a um, um, what you can hardening property. You can call it as hardening property is going to affect. Okay, normally within 1 days, um, it has to you can start curing from the next day, but it won't be happen. It will be in the fluid form itself. Means the workability is going to be reduced. See, once you mix it with the sand and uh, along with the aggregate, the bonding will not happen because this whatever the other materials like clay and shale, if clay and shale is there, mud is there, definitely it will not attach. The bonding will not going to happen. Okay, even whatever the SiO2, alumina, CaO, these properties are going to be altered. Okay, then it affects the properties of concrete and undesirable. Then very important, the salts. Salts are very important, and the sulfides. We already discussed the salt means it is chloride attack, and it is sulfide means sulfate attack in concrete. So these two has to be taken care whenever we are discussing the other things. Okay. Sometimes even um, if it is coming from the water, that is also very dangerous. See, this organic matter, organic impurities not only come from the aggregates or the sands, even 50 or 60% it will come from the wat- water also. See, suppose if you are using the water, mud water, for example, if you are using the mud water for mixing, then that mud it is come along with the water itself. Okay, then means the other deleterious material is added. Okay, similarly, the water your the code, what it will say, IS456. You open that code, IS456. If you code it, in that, if you check the quality of water uh, for mixing, always he has mentioned mainly three or four parameters. One is pH, then chloride, then sulfate, that is SO4, Cl minus. Okay, then alkalinity. Alkalinity is all four parameters he has listed. So pH, what he has, what always, if you open that code, it will say that there should be, it should not be less than 6. Okay, he will say that it should not be less than 6. That's it. Okay, should not be less than 6. Even if it is then alkaline range, no problem. He say that if it is in alkaline range, no problem. Means normally some of the geopolymer concrete and all those things, we can see that the pH of the water is around 10. Means it can be it may not be that much problem it is going to happen if uh, the mixing water, if it is in alkaline range. Okay, so it should not be in acidic range. That's it. Okay, if it is in acidic range, definitely um, um, the corrosion problem it is going to happen. The main problem associated with that, it is the corrosion problem. Okay, so that is why. And always the quality of water for mixing in concrete, they recommend that it should be in the condition of drinking water. So always he will say that now the code is, they are going to revise it, and they said that it has to follow IS 10,500 and 2012. Okay, this code it has to satisfy, means it is almost the equivalent to the property of the, or the quality of the drinking water itself. So that kind of water only we have to use it. Okay, but only the extension, that is that, see, if it is an alkaline range, it may not be any problem. So always keep it in mind that even mixing water, if you salt water, you're not supposed to use it. For example, seawater, we have a lot of seawater is there, you're not supposed to use that water because it consists of the lot of salt. Salt means sodium chloride. If you see the concentration of salt, or salt, it is nothing but total dissolved solids. Salts, it will come under the category of total dissolved solids. If you see the seawater concentration, so roughly it will be 40,000 milligram per liter. It is too much high. Okay, means roughly it will be 40 grams per liter. Okay, in 1 liter you will get 40 grams of salt. So that much um, concentration is there. So that is nowhere it is used for the mixing. Okay. So then, what exactly the alkali aggregate reaction is going to happen? Okay. So the extensive expansion and complete disruption and disintegration of concrete is known as alkali aggregate reaction or the concrete cancer. Okay. The trouble is due to the reaction between silica in aggregate and alkali in the cement. Important. Then a reactive aggregate, if in finely ground state, will inhibit the reaction. This is very important. If in finely ground state, okay, inhibit the action. Okay, reaction between cement and aggregate can be two types. One is alkali with the either silicas or with the carbonates of in the aggregates. So reaction with silica is unknown. Okay, um, this see, I'll explain here. So alkali aggregate reaction, you can see. So it is alkali hydroxide, then silica in aggregate plus water. So it is going to form AAR gel. So AR gel is highly hydrated in the presence of water and reacted aggregate to develop the expansion. You can see here. Okay, how exactly the expansion is happening here. Okay, you can see the alkali aggregate reactions. Okay, how to stop this? The factors affecting alkali aggregate reactions. Of course, we will not go in detail. Just I'm telling. Okay, so reactive type of aggregates. So that is reactive silica has been found to have a serious effects if present in small quantity, but not if it constitute the whole aggregate. So then high alkali content cement, then availability to moisture content and the temperature conditions. Okay, these are favorable if you want to stop it. Okay, so this of course will not go in detail about that. Okay, then soundness. It is defined as the ability of the aggregate to resist the change in volume as a result of change in the physical conditions. Okay, this you have to remember. Resist the change in the volume. The conditions like freezing, thawing, temperature changes, the alternate wetting and drying. Okay, they are definitely going to affect the soundness property. Okay, porous and weak aggregate undergo excessive volume changes under these conditions. Okay, this one, two things, porous and weak aggregates. In thermal properties, the coefficient of thermal expansion of the concrete increases with that of the coarse aggregates. Okay, any difference in the coefficients of the coarse aggregate and the cement paste may break the bond between the two. So then now fineness modulus. So it is the numerical index of fineness, giving some idea about the mean size of the particles in the aggregates. In the concrete, we already discussed, that is fineness is the same property, okay, but the mean size of the particles. Okay, the sum of the cumulative percentage of the residues retained on each of the Indian standard sieves, that is 80 mm, 40 mm, 20 mm, 10 mm, 4.75 mm, 2.36 mm, 1.18 mm. Okay, microns. Each succeeding sieve has half whatever it is there. You can see this. It is the sum of the cumulative percentage of residues retained on each of the Indian standards. Okay, so whichever it is there, residues, it has to be divided by the 100. Then it is nothing but the fineness modulus. The fineness modulus of an aggregate is roughly proportional to the average size of the particles of the aggregate. So the fineness modulus varies between 2 to 3.2 for fine aggregate, and it should be between 5.5 to 8 for coarse aggregate, and between 3.5 to 6.5 all in aggregate. One classification we already did, that is all in aggregate. Okay, so then The objective of finding the finest modulus is to grade the given aggregate for the required strength and workability of the concrete mix with a minimum cement. Okay. Then higher, um, the finest modulus of the aggregate result in harsh concrete mixes and lower FM results in the uneconomical. So remember that whatever the um, retainment we are talking about, okay, with all the sieves or the average size we are talking about, then it should not be more also, it should not be less also. See, whatever the ratios we are talking about, the fine aggregates 2 to 3.2, then coarse aggregates it should be 3.5 to 5.5 to 5.5 to 8. Then all in aggregates it will be 3.5 to 6.5. Okay, that you have to keep it in mind that. Okay, so then tests on aggregate. So then particle size. So this sieve analysis is also called a particle size value. Okay, so in determination of the proportions of the particles with in certain range in an aggregate by separation of various sieves at different size openings, we define the sieve analysis. So you can see the fineness modulus, the cumulative percentage of aggregate retained on sieve divided by 100. So I already explained it will start from, so as the coarse aggregate it is greater than 4.75 mm to the you have 80 mm. So in each of the IS sieves, whichever the percentage retained that divided by 100. Okay. See, whenever this particle size is totally different from what we were discussing about the particle size of the cement. Okay. Always the particle size of the cement it will be in terms of microns. Okay, it will be in terms of microns, and their um, defining is totally different, and here it is totally different. This particle size is always with respect to the finest modulus. Okay, that means if it is retaining on the um, for example, the 80 mm, if it is passing retained on 40 mm, means the size will be in between these two. Okay, if it is retained on 40 mm and if it is passing through 80 mm, means the size will be that way. But the similar conditions will not calculate in terms of the cement. Okay, cement is very fine material. So there we require what we talked about earlier, that is the BAT method as well as the SEM analysis is required to find out the particle size. Okay, this we already know. Then flakiness and elongation index. So there is the large number of flaky particles, more whites, more whites, more mortar to fill whites, then it is uneconomical, and definitely it is going to affect the durability. Okay, this means large number if it is there, more whites. So I already say that it will be under the type of pervious. Then more mortars, it is uneconomical. Then aggregates may break down easier under heavy loads. Definitely, if it is flaky, then during heavy loads, okay. This also shape test how exactly you refer IS code of 2836 part 1. Okay, so this is how you are going to conduct. So gauges required, to gauge is measured. So gauge will be there. In that we are going to measure how much flakiness it is there. Okay, see, elongation gauge and thickness gauge. Procedure is just um, say it very simple. First, you take the initial weight passing through a slot of that thickness gauge. Okay, then W2 is total weight of the sample. Then moisture content. A sample of 2 kg of aggregate is used for conduction of this test. So then make sure that it is thoroughly washed to remove the finer materials. See, always many mistakes will do it most of the time. Directly we'll brought it from and we'll keep it in the uh, oven. huh? Um, that is also not correct. Okay, always you have to first you have to remove the dust particles with the water. Okay, to remove the fine particles or dust, whatever the organic matter or the deleterious materials what we have discussed. Okay, then place in a wire basket and immerse in a distilled water at room temperature for about 24 hours. So then aggregates are removed and gently surface dried with a dry cloth and weighed the aggregate, then placed in the oven at the temperature of 100 to 110 degree centigrade. Okay, you have to use the microwave oven or simple oven, it will be there. You can just keep it, but it has to be done after washing only. Okay, keep it in first, keep it in the distilled water. Why they will saying the distilled water? Why in normal water? So make sure that your water should not contain any other materials. If distilled water is there, that is free from even ions also, free from the free from the ions. Okay, nothing will be there. Okay, in water at least some of the minerals will be there, so that definitely that is going to affect or it is going to absorb. Some of the things will be absorbed, then that will be taken in the weighing the aggregates. Okay, so then when you keep it in oven for this much degree centigrade, so then after 24 hours, so remove it and um, in a, that is initial weight divided by the final weight you can take after one drying, so that multiply by 100. So then very remember that the whatever the aggregate, it should not um, exceed the absorption of 2%. So absorption should not be exceed by 2%. Okay, that you have to remember. So then a specific gravity, it is the weight of the aggregate, the weight of an equal volume of water. Okay, so we already defined that. hmm, With respect to the fluid also we have defined with respect to the aggregates also we defined it. Okay, there is a weight of the aggregate to the weight of equal volume of water. So specific gravity is used in certain computations of certain concrete mix design or to control work such as absolute volume of the concrete. Then it is not a measure of quality of the aggregate. Remember, this is the okay. So then aggregate impact value test. So this aggregate impact value, it gives a relative measure of the resistance of an aggregate to sudden shock. This you have to remember. It is the resistance of an aggregate to sudden shock or the impact. Okay, if you add sudden impact or sudden load, so the aggregate how it is resisting, that we are going to measure in impact value test. So the property of the material to resist the impact is known as the toughness. Okay. So due to the movement of the vehicles on the roads, the aggregates are subjected to impact, resulting in their breaking down into smaller pieces. So normally this is going to happen. So the aggregate should be therefore have sufficient toughness to resist their disintegration due to the impact. So this characteristics is measured by the impact value test. The aggregate impact value is measure of the resistance to sudden impact or shock, which may differ from its resistance to gradually applied compressive load. So always with respect to the compression. Okay. So therefore, in most of the time in roads only, this impact value test very important. Uh, Whenever you are calculating any highways and all those things, so proper gradation has to be proposed, whether it is initially 40 mm, whether it is for 60 mm. Okay, so that has to be proposed, okay, based on the impact test only, because for highway, what will be, how much load is going to happen? Normally it will be 80 tons, 80 tons to 100 tons. It will be the, for normal roads. For rural roads it will be of roughly 20 tons to 40 tons. Okay, if it is a expressway, 120 tons to somewhere around 150 tons of the vehicle load always it is going to transfer to, then this much if you apply it. So how exactly these things are going to happen? So therefore, what exactly the aggregate size or preferred? Okay, so normally if you go for the highway and all those things, they will go for this with higher size so that it can um, resist the compressive strength or compression load. So then crushing value. So the aggregate crushing value test on the coarse aggregate is relative measure of the resistance of an aggregate crushing under gradually applied load. It is gradually applied compressive load. Okay. The coarse aggregate crushing value is the percentage by the weight of the crushed materials obtained when the test aggregates are subjected to specified load under standardized conditions. So aggregate crushing value is numerical index of the strength of the aggregate, and it is used to the construction of the roads and the pavements. Okay. Then 10% finite test possibly. Um, we'll have this discussion tomorrow. Okay. Just go through it once. If you have any difficulties in any of the test, so that test only we will take up. So that is why whatever the test are there, I just simplified it in one or two slides. So to write this much only, because that much time will not be there.